The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of Might Be Brews. My name is John. As always, my buddy Steve. What's up?
We gotta say happy birthday, Mr. John.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you, sir.
Who's that? Who was that? Who was that?
We've got a very special guest in the house from the Might Be News show on mbnnetwork.com. Co-host Kev. What's up, Kev?
What up, guys?
Co-host Kev. We meet again. You son of a bitch.
As always, I like to refer to you as the RZA of MBN Network. My brother, Taylor Cooper.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, dude? I don't know what to say next.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. I had some beers, a little bit of whiskey, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go through the social media stuff. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Might Be Brews. Make sure you follow the network at Might Be News 247. And all of the links to all of the shows are on mbnnetwork.com.
Yeah, you can go everywhere. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes,
Stitcher,
SoundCloud.
everywhere.
More coming soon, according to CJ, our technical director at the network.
What else is there?
Apparently, like Pandora does it now. There's a couple other things that I don't know.
I didn't even know Pandora had podcasts.
I guess they just started it. Maybe we're gonna get, in there before the getting's good.
Yeah.
Right on the front line.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into it. Let's crack a beer and start getting into topics. So, Steve, we're going to crack yours first. What did you bring today?
Sounds good. We were talking about it on a previous episode. I saw them at Total Wine in Delaware, so I picked one up. Guinness Stout aged in bullet bourbon barrels.
Nice.
So I don't know if this has a nitro pour to it. Let's check it out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I guess I'm jumping a little bit ahead on these topics, but since we're talking about these collabs, did you see the Wawa beer collab that was just announced?
I saw that, and my wife is a huge Wawa coffee drinker and not a beer drinker. So I told her that I have to get it to her anyway, make her drink it because she's all Wawa'd up.
Yeah, my wife's worked for Wawa for, 16 years or so. So we're obviously a big Wawa household.
I think that's a cool thing to bring in Wawa and mix them up with beer. I know Wawas are trying to get some beer in them. We just drove past Turkey Hill tonight trying to get into the beer game.
Yeah, they got them too. So it looks like it's going to be a collab between Wawa and 2SP Brewing out of Delaware County. What's interesting is that they're brewing this specifically with the Winter Reserve Wawa coffee. Which is going to be a coffee stout, but they're brewing it not with just regular Wawa regular. It's going to be the winter blend coffee.
Does the winter blend have any spices to it? Is it cinnamony? Is it?
I'm not sure. I haven't had it, but it says here in the article that the profile includes notes of sweet clover, dark chocolate, and graham crackers. So we'll see. But
let's get tasting this.
Yeah,
Guinness
cheers, everybody.
in the bullet
Cheers.
bourbon.
The first birthday beer.
All right.
Yo, cheers, co-host Kev.
It's
Cheers.
It's not John's first beer.
Smelling it. What do you get right away? What do you think?
I get whiskey.
I get
whiskey.
bourbon, yeah.
I get whiskey.
Whiskey bourbon right away.
Whiskey, but I thought chocolate right away.
Yeah, it doesn't have that like burn like I just had a little bit of whiskey over there. So it doesn't burn like that, but I'm actually surprised how much I'm getting off the nose.
Yo, Kev's face.
And just a reminder, if we've got any first time listeners, myself, John, co-host Steve, we are more experienced beer nerds, and Taylor and Kevin here tonight really do not have any beer experience, so they're kind of here to give that that
Dummy vibe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll call it novice.
That's perfect,
Yeah,
actually.
novice.
Dummy vibe. I like the dummy vibe idea. I'm with that.
Dude, it straight up tastes like watered down whiskey.
Kev, like when he just took the first sip, I just watched him the whole time, and he just looked like he ate like a warhead, like a sour warhead. Like, wah!
It tastes like watered down whiskey to me.
It's definitely
It does.
heavy on the whiskey.
Yeah,
You know,
I like this. It's not bad.
yeah, you know,
I'm a whiskey
actually-
drinker though. I like whiskey, so that's pretty good.
You know, for the stouts that we've been drinking lately,
I know where you're going.
this is a bit thin to me. But,
Definitely thin. I think that might be why I like it.
yeah, but it's good. I'm surprised the flavor going on here. It's thin, but it's still balanced and flavorful enough. I'm still getting like all the chocolate, the stout, the bourbon. It's all coming through nice and even, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
I don't remember the last time I had regular Guinness, but I don't know how much regular Guinness I'm getting from this. I feel like regular Guinness had a smokiness to it that I don't get as much out of this. But
Yeah,
it's been a
no.
long time since I had a Guinness.
Yeah,
I feel like it's thinner than Guinness is to me. If it feels like it.
what's the ABV? Did you say that?
I did not say that. And it is 10%.
Wow,
I'm surprised
that's
it is 10%.
surprising. Wow,
I would have guessed lower.
for being that thin. I mean, but like I said, I'm really surprised how much flavors in that thing. That's really good.
It's got. I definitely get chocolate, on the back end.
Yeah. Hey, I want to clear something up. Last episode, I brought up East Branch, and my wife even said it to me. She was like, "You dropped the ball. You didn't have it prepared, like what beers you had there." And I was like, "Oh, I had a stout. I had a double IPA. They were really good." But when I went back and listened to it, I was like, I feel like I kind of did them a disservice. So I just want to give East Branch a quick shout out. And when I was there last time, the double IPA I had was Runoff, and the stout I had was Black Horse, an American stout. Both were outstanding beers, but I kind of feel bad that like I didn't have any of that stuff ready and couldn't bring it up quick enough. But after that, we went pretty much right into Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving, Steve?
It was a good time. We do it at my house. I had about 12 people over.
Oh, wow.
I took care of the turkey. I took care of the stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
We make the holiday soup, which is like an Italian wedding soup.
Oh, nice.
And we had a great
Have
time.
soup with Thanksgiving dinner?
Just a little starter. It's a little starter.
For real?
Absolutely.
Blown away.
Huh.
What?
It's if a lot of Italian households you'll see will have this soup at Thanksgiving time, at Christmas time. A lot of different. I see a head shaking over there. Yes.
Soup.
It's you know what Italian wedding soup is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my version of that, my family's version. I should
How
say.
do you feel about potato bacon soup?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I got no beef with it. It's not my grandmother's holiday soup recipe. But
So, what beers did you have? Did you get anything, crack anything special for the holiday?
I had a triple Seesaw, the Trillium Goza, which was really good. I cracked that right before dinner, so I kind of had that at the start of dinner. It was definitely fruity, so I felt like it kind of it wasn't wine like.
Sure,
it has definitely some wine notes to it.
Yep.
With the sourness of the Goes. And then I had a Celebration Ale, the one we were talking about on the ride over here.
Yep.
To me, it's a
Nice.
little maltier than I remember, but it still was a good complement to the meal. And that's it. I really didn't drink too heavy on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, me either. I what did I have? So somebody gave me a Boris the Spider Russian Imperial Stout.
One of the Which one's
I think
that?
it's from like Spider Brewing. That I'm gonna drop the ball again and not be prepared on that one. But Nathan got it in a Beer of the Month club and gave it to me, so I wasn't really expecting much, and it was really good actually.
Nathan is our brother. Who
Yeah,
was
Nathan's
down
my
for
brother.
Thanksgiving.
Yep, and then after that, I had I think I cracked a CBS. So nothing too crazy.
And I the other beer I had was a Matilda, Goose Island pale ale that has a Brett in it,
Nice.
which I thought was really tasty.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever like so going with the beer from the start off from the night, you're enjoying a beer, you're enjoying the taste, you're enjoying everything about the beer. You ever get like halfway, 3/4 through the night and you just start pounding them, you don't even care what they taste like? Or do you move on to like Miller Lite at that point?
I don't keep any Miller Lite in the house. If I were to go to your house and you said, "Yo, Steve, you want a beer? I got Miller Lite," I would say absolutely, and I would crack a beer and I would enjoy it with you. But I don't keep it at my house. I would rather have 4 of different beers that I enjoy than have 8 Miller Lites.
Okay.
Just me personally.
Okay.
That's interesting because I think an example I have of that is I don't usually keep that stuff around, but like when we go to Chuck's
Yeah.
to jam, I expect Budweiser there. There's always Budweiser there.
Always Budweiser.
And I look forward to having a Budweiser at Chuck's.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I'm never gonna like trash talk a beer, I guess, unless like it's like I think it's disgusting. But there's nothing wrong with like a regular beer, or drink what you enjoy. It's kind of
a beer that I have recently discovered at the end of summer, and I absolutely love it. And I've never been on the beer game at all, and Victory beers have always just grossed me out. But I absolutely am infatuated with Sour Monkey.
that
Fucking
is a
love it.
great beer.
It's a really good beer.
I love that beer.
I love it.
You're infatuated with it.
I love that they're doing different things with their base beers because you can get they have the Sour Monkey.
Yep.
They have the Sour Monkey Remix, which was the white wine barrel version. So they put Sour Monkey in white wine barrels.
How much does that make it taste different?
You get a little bit of the barrel taste to it. You get a little bit of the wine taste to it. It's definitely going to taste different.
Okay.
The good thing to do would be try and get one of each and try them side by side.
Yeah.
That's
2 Sour Monkeys back to back would have you feeling real nice.
You can
Real
split
nice.
them up, have some friends over, My favorite thing that they did with Golden Monkey was in the rum barrels. Did you have any of that?
No,
one?
I didn't.
So it was a really limited release. I think they only let you buy 2 bottles.
Mhm.
And I think Victory messed up. They put Golden Monkey in a rum barrel and just called it Golden Monkey and rum barrel. How did they not call it Pirate Monkey?
Oh, that's such a good name.
Yeah.
And they could have taken it and there was no label on it. They had like a little hanging card, but they should have just had the regular logo and put an eye patch over that freaking monkey, and it would have been bananas
Incredible.
looking. I would have bought a shirt.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I bought 2 bottles and I cracked one last year at an Eagles game. We went to the Niners game last year.
Mhm.
I cracked one in the parking lot. My cousin loves regular Golden Monkey. And I
Okay.
cracked that and it was fabulous.
Wow.
And then our boy Scott brought one to poker in February of this year, March of this year. And so it had another 6 months on it,
Yep.
and it was even better.
Wow.
So I'm really excited to try the one that's in my basement at some point.
Yeah.
That was actually a candidate I was thinking about bringing on Saturday as
Yeah.
well. I got too many.
I'd like to try that. That's interesting. I think Victory should hire you for their marketing
At
department.
least for that one beer.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I had that one.
So speaking of Victory, on Wednesday before Black Friday, Victory calls it Dark Wednesday. We met up at the Victory in Downingtown and for the Java Cask release.
It was a good time.
It was
Good-
awesome.
Good time.
I love the crew of guys. Obviously your brother was really cool. Scotty, who else was there?
Dave, Russ,
all those
Sean.
guys. Awesome crew. Such that's the thing I love about beer, man. Just getting together, being in line waiting for Victory to open and cracking a couple beers and everybody sharing stuff. That guy went out to his car and he brought you some like crazy, what was it? Other half
Other half and Dancing Gnome collab.
yeah.
So the Victory releases at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
We got there at about 9 o'clock. I think I got there.
Mhm.
So I had 2 PM Dawn Vanillas in the car, which is a little bit rare.
Yeah.
Definitely not an easily accessible beer. And I
Right.
crack them in line and we start sharing them. And strangers, hey, you guys want some of this? Try some of this here. And we start talking with the other people. And we were talking about IPAs. And I was talking about how I really like Other Half's IPAs. And this one guy that I never met before was like, oh, did you try any of the Dancing Gnome? They're out in Pittsburgh. I said, no, I haven't tried any of them yet. I'd like to.
Yeah.
Goes out to his car, grabs a collab, a can between Other Half and Dancing Gnome, and just gives it to me.
Yeah.
Here, have this.
That's awesome. And then we have a Crowler from The Answer
Yeah,
was
we had
getting
that
passed around, the PM Dawns. It was awesome.
3 scoops. I
Yep.
think was the one we were having.
Yep.
Not my personal favorite. A little too much coconut in there. I kind of
Yeah.
get the suntan kind of taste to it.
It
but
did taste like a melted like I don't know what you would call that. Like an ice cone or something.
It is crazy how they get that much fruit flavor into
crazy.
that series that they do.
So out of the Victory Java casks, they had the regular Java cask, the Java Latte, which they came out and gave us the little sample of Java Latte.
And that's
And-
another cool thing.
Yeah.
We're out there in line for an hour, and
Yep.
a guy from Victory just comes out. There were 20 of us in line, 30 of us in
Yep.
line at that time. And he has just a tray of beer, 6-ounce samples maybe.
Yeah.
Just hands them out to everybody waiting in line.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So like, when they came out and they had the samples of the Java Latte, I was really excited, and I didn't know what to expect. But I was thinking this is going to be a 14% version, something in that range, a Java cask version. And when I drank it, it was so thin, it was kind of milky, and I was like, it's okay, but I'm not really feeling it. And then we walked in and sat down, and I saw on the menu that it's actually a 7% milk stout.
And that's what they were going for. They were going for a lighter version of Java Cask.
Yeah.
Because Java Cask is 14%.
Holy
I guess-
shit.
I guess I knew what I was expecting, and when that didn't hit, I was kind of disappointed. But then under context, I was like, this is actually pretty good. So I think we all pretty much got a flight. There was the Java Cask, the Java Latte, Java Cask Gold, and the Maple. So out of those, what was your favorite?
I'm going maple. I'm going
Yeah.
maple all day. I enjoy a sweetness in stouts, maple, vanilla. That's the kind of stuff that I like in my stouts. So the maple for me was number one. The gold was good, but it was just so darn confusing.
Yeah, it
To
definitely
look-
was.
And not taste confusing, look versus taste confusing. Because
Yep.
you're looking at this golden ale and tasting stout. And
Yeah.
it just really messed with your sensory.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Out of everything that I had, I was most impressed by the maple. But I had a Java cask, like a regular Java cask at home the other day. And, out of the regular 16-ounce bottle or whatever it is, and was really impressed. I mean, I love that beer, but I was just like, I might like it more than the vanilla. Just as is. It's just a perfect beer to me.
I thought they did a really cool job putting that in 12-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go crack a 22-ounce, 14% beer
Yep.
if I want to have one. I can just have one. And
I
be
like
done.
that too. Absolutely. And I have to point out, in case anybody checks out their food menu, that Carolina Reaper sauce. Woo! I got chicken and waffles for breakfast there, and it came with a Carolina Carolina Reaper honey syrup or something like that. Holy shit, dude! I stuck my fork in it, put it in my mouth, and I was on fire.
Wow.
Insane.
Instantly?
Instantly.
Instantly.
Oh.
It was pretty hot.
It was rough.
Well, they had a special brunch menu, and pretty much everybody but you got the enchiladas.
I was the weird one, I guess. Like, everybody ordered enchiladas. I'm like, dude, if I see chicken and waffles, I'm in all day.
But the enchiladas were hot too. They had a hot sauce on them. That was
Where was
nowhere near the Carolina Reaper honey that you.
Where
you
was
had
this at?
At Victory in Parksburg.
Well,
Yep.
that's why they gave you that hot sauce to get you to buy more beer.
Maybe it's a marketing scheme we didn't realize.
We would have bought beer even if. I mean, that's
Had nothing to do with it,
had
really.
nothing to do it. Yeah.
So talking Black Friday beers, I know I went out to Wegmans early and got in line at 6:30 for a 7 a.m. release. There was only 6 or 8 people ahead of me, but it was like -8 no, not negative, but it was like like 8 degrees outside.
It was
Regardless, it was cold as fuck. I was freezing. Dude, I don't know. It was just insane, dude. I was thinking about backing out. I got really cold. Like, maybe they'll let me back in line if I go to my car and warm up a little bit. But all was good. We got it. I mean, it wasn't all that long, a half hour, whatever. But I was able to grab some regular, some 17, some orange, and some vanilla out of
Nice.
Wegmans.
I went out on Wednesday after Victory. I had to go get the kids from school. We did some flu shots.
Nice.
Got some lunch, picked up some stuff for Thanksgiving, and I said I'm gonna go pick up some lager, something not too crazy for my relatives that were coming over.
Yep.
And I found a spot on Wednesday that I won't name, but they had vanilla and the coffee barley wine on Wednesday, which shouldn't have been out until Friday.
Yeah.
But it helped me out. I will
Absolutely.
gladly give them some bucks in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. I was excited to you send that message around to a handful of us, and I think a lot of us went down there and grabbed some.
I think you probably wiped them out.
Yeah.
But it was cool. So now I got some vanilla. I got some of the coffee barley wine. I found some orange and some of the wheat wine at Total Wine later in the week. Actually, that was this week. That was Monday. I went down there. So I got a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. I also want to give a shout out to Dre over there. Do you know Dre at Wegmans?
I know who he is, but I don't think we've ever met. We've never like shook hands and said hello.
Just awesome, just a fellow beer nerd. But I think some guys were talking about him that a couple days earlier. So when I ran into him and realized who he was, introduced myself as just, hey, I'm a fellow beer nerd, and just wanted to say hi. And he was super nice, really cool. So I know he took over the beer department there at the Downingtown Wegmans, and so shout out to Dre for all your help with that.
So now I want to say more importantly, but how do we think these are going to trade?
Well, I saw some people trading it, and it blew my mind because I figured this is a national release.
Mm-hmm.
People can get it everywhere. And yeah, it's like limited, but we're still seeing it on the shelves. I went and grabbed another bottle or two out of Exton Beverage today, almost a week later. So I was really surprised. I saw people trading one vanilla bottle for $45, asking for $45 on a shipping label.
That's crazy.
And then he ended up selling 6 bottles to somebody for $230.
How much
came
can you
out
get
to
this beer for?
$38.33 a bottle.
It's 22 a bottle, 25 a bottle, depending on where you see it at.
Unlimited releases,
Yeah.
you're talking 22-ounce bottles, or you're talking like
They're like a 17.5 ounce. It's a weird size, but yeah.
I may not like the beer, but I could definitely make some money on it.
Now we've got his attention.
There is absolutely a market out there of people that are making money, especially traveling to get beer. They call them beer mules. So a guy might post on one of our Facebook groups, hey, I'm going to drive up to Vermont. I can get you 4 packs of this, 4 packs of this. Normally, he'll buy it for 20, and he might sell it to us for 30, 35.
Happens all the time, every day.
I'm not trying to make $10 here and $10 there.
But
I'll buy a $20 bottle here and ship it to Nevada.
But he might buy 6 cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you add that up, I
Okay.
mean, he's taking a few $100s home easily.
Okay.
After gas and tolls.
Yeah. So then later that day on that Black Friday, we both actually went out to the craft house, but it was funny because I walked in. At first I thought they were closed. The parking lot was empty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're doing a Bourbon County, tapping, I guess that's what you would call it, a tapping, a tap takeover maybe. They had a bunch of variants on. So I go in and see that they are actually open. I go sit down and I ordered a midnight orange Bourbon County. And the bartender comes back with a full pint glass full of Bourbon County orange. And what's the ABV on that?
14?
Yeah, like 14 something. Dude, that was a crazy pint. I kept trying to get Nathan, actually, my brother, to try to drink some of it. Because he was I just couldn't do it all. But I tried my best. I actually got a little 5-ounce pour of the vanilla also while I was there. But all that Bourbon County made for a fun afternoon.
15.2.
15.2
is the midnight orange.
Mm.
So yeah, I went down there for lunch as well. I started with the vanilla. Again, I like the sweet stout,
Yeah.
so vanilla was my favorite of the bunch, but the midnight orange is really good. It's got a really good orange flavor coming at you.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I thought the vanilla was really hot. With the one what I had on tap, I haven't had it out of the bottle yet. The orange was fantastic. I
What do you mean
absolutely
hot?
loved it. Like it was like real boozy, and it just that's really what it is. It just was very boozy tasting.
If you drink a shot of whiskey,
This was hot then.
it has a little heat to it, but I didn't think it was as hot as some other beers that I've had.
Yeah. Like if I'm calling it hot, it's like it's almost got like
That
the,
alcohol
the
burn.
nose and the burn
Okay.
of like
Okay.
straight liquor.
Okay.
So usually that's what's sometimes exciting to us as beer nerds is you have a beer that's the higher ABVs of 14, 15, maybe higher, and you drink it and it's hidden, like you can't detect from the taste that there's that much booze in it. Like that's you usually I think pretty difficult to pull off. So it's a neat thing to come across a beer like that.
I don't mean to bring it back to it, but would you say Sour Monkey does a good job at that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no real burn to that at all.
No.
And one of the cool things is, and especially I think with the orange, if you have a bottle of that and you put it on a shelf for a year, that alcohol burn will kind of dissipate.
Really?
That hotness that I call it kind of fades away, so it's not as hot after a year, maybe even 6 months.
But does the alcohol content get higher?
No, it stays the same. Unless the only thing that's going to get the alcohol content to go up is if there's leftover yeast that's still alive in the bottle.
Okay.
I just want to quick go over a couple other beers that I had in the last week or so. I don't know how this happens or how it comes out, but I saw Pliny the Elder pop up around town. So I was able to pop over to the Pour House in Exton, and they had it on tap. I had a couple of those. We actually met up with the wife for a couple drinks, what was nice. She grabbed a Levante Tickle Parts. But
I love tickle parts.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, the Pliny, dude, that's just a great beer. Just a really well balanced double IPA. I just really liked it.
Balance is the perfect word with that beer.
Yep.
Because you can taste everything and nothing at the same time.
Yep.
You can take one sip and think you taste pine and earthy kind of tones, and then take another sip and you'll get tropical kind of flavors to it, and then the next sip you'll get the malt. And to me, it's a real balance is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I ran into another beer nerd buddy, Tom Carver, who was a regular at the Bottle Shares. So I think he follows us at least online. So if you're listening, Tom, thank you for listening, and it was good seeing you the other day. The other thing is this New Trail Brewery. Have you heard of them?
I have not.
So I was up in Williamsport, before Thanksgiving, with family and whatnot, and I ran into the Wegmans there, and was looking for a local beer, and there was this New Trail IPA right out of Williamsport. So I was really excited. It was really fresh. I was right there in town. I wanted something local. I had Bullfrog Brewery before, so I grabbed the 4-pack, took it back to the hotel room, and I was really impressed. The beer I had was Broken Heel. But it's really nice. And then what's funny is I was excited to have it. I brought it back and had a couple here too at home. And now all of a sudden they're popping up in stores here. I saw them at Exton Beverage today.
Yeah.
I saw the Bottle Room posted them in one of their posts that they're getting it. So it's pretty exciting. Anybody who hasn't had it yet, it's new to our area. Look out for New Trail Brewing. Broken Heel was the one I had. But I think there's another one out there too. Maybe it might be a lager or a pilsner or something like that.
And that goes to speak for something I was talking about with some guys. You left the craft house before I did, but I was talking with Devin and Andy on the way out.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the bar, and the amount of good beer we get in this region is pretty ridiculous.
It's amazing
that we can be here in Chester County. We're not in Center City. We're not at Monk's. We're not at these high end beer bars. We're in Chester County. We're going to the craft house. We're going to the Pour House and getting all this world class stuff. And just it's a great time to be a beer nerd in this area.
Absolutely. Very, very lucky. Well, hey, look, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll crack another beer and run through a couple more topics.
Hey, it's Taylor Cooper with co-host Kev here as well.
Yo.
Just letting you know, why don't you listen to every fucking show on the Might Be News Network? How about that? There's like fucking 6 of them when we feel like it. You know what I mean? Might be news every Monday, relatable radio every Tuesday, might be sports every Wednesday, every other Thursday we got Novak and Franz, and every other Friday we got Might Be Brews. Sometimes we even do interviews, which will be on a show called Let's Talk About It. You can find it on Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, every fucking thing.
You talk too much.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Might Be Brews. As always, check us out on any podcast platform you can think of, Stitcher, SoundCloud,
iTunes, Google Podcasts,
iTunes.
SoundCloud.
And if you're listening and you're enjoying it, do us a favor, tell a friend. Get one more listener.
Yeah, if you could like or share it if you're listening, if you really do like it, even if you don't like it, tell us.
Share
Say,
it.
hey, this sucks, but share it.
We definitely like interacting on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Drink better beer.
Yeah.
And speaking of better beer, we fucked up. We did not rate our first beer.
We did not
rate the Guinness Stout aged in the bullet bourbon barrels.
There's still a swig in there.
Little swig in there. I might have to take care of that.
Yeah,
Do it.
go for it.
Out of 5?
I'm going to give it a strong 4. I think most times if I paired that against other beers, I might not go as high, but because it surprised me, I'm giving it a 4. I'm giving it a strong 4.
I definitely thought it was solid. I'd go on 3.75. I would have liked it to be a little heftier in the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
But that'd be an interesting one to see how it ages too. See how those
See what
flavors
happens in
play.
there. What do you think, Taylor?
I would give that a 4.
All right.
I'd give that a 4. I liked it. I like
Nice.
again. I enjoy bourbon, so that's probably factored into my score here because it definitely goes in that direction. I like the flavor of it. It's like we were talking about. It's thin. It's kind of easier to handle. I feel like I could drink that bottle probably with ease and not feel like disgusted by myself, and just it's really good.
Yeah. Kev, what did you think?
4.
I don't really like bourbon, and I also am not a fan of regular Guinness, so like a 0.5.
All right, you're honest. That's good.
If it was handed to me and it was open type thing, I would feel obligated to drink it, and I definitely could drink it, but would I pull that out of the refrigerator? No way.
It was not a 0.
Yeah, that's true.
Kev is
Great point.
also a notoriously low rater when it comes to rating.
Yeah, this guy gets excited for Capri Sun, which everybody should. but-
What's the Capri Sun rating for tonight? That's what we should really be talking about. What do we got here?
Out of
Wild
5?
berry?
Yeah, Kev, we got wild cherry tonight, which is a vibrant flavor compared to what we usually have here. What do you think about it?
Out of 5,
Yeah.
I'd have to give it like a 7.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I'm gonna go wild cherry a few more times here in the near future.
We got to get somebody to make a Capri Sun collab.
Bourbon
Some
barrel
sort of-
aged,
Oh, dude.
rum barrel aged,
There you go.
My
Capri
God.
Sun.
Dude, there's like a Capri Sun IPA. I'd be all over that.
Yeah, dude, we had a barrel aged twisted tea at one of the bottle shares.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
It was hype.
Was it good? It was
No,
good.
No,
that was
it wasn't.
horrible.
All right, so check this out, Steve. You probably know the story. Let me see what your guys' take is. There's hundreds of breweries that are all planning to make the exact same IPA. Actually, there's now over 1,000 breweries that will have already started and will brew the exact same IPA recipe.
And call
Why?
it different things.
No, every single one will be called Resilience IPA.
Okay.
So what happened here is there's obviously these crazy wildfires happening out west. One in particular called the Campfire in California
Yes.
did not hurt Sierra Nevada's brewing facility, but was in their neck of the woods, their neighborhood.
They actually closed at least a day. They might have closed a couple days when things got really hectic up there.
I think you're right. So what was interesting is they wanted to brew a beer that they could then give the proceeds to people to help them come back from this wildfire in their neighborhood in, I think it's Butte County.
Mhm.
So they started getting some feedback from other breweries that wanted to get involved and help and be a collab on this beer. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before.
Not to the scale.
No,
way.
but now there's over 1,000 breweries across the country that are all going to brew the same exact recipe, put the beer out with the same name, and all over the entire country around the same time, people can enjoy this beer together, and all of the proceeds will go to help the relief for the campfire.
Wow.
How awesome is that?
That's very cool.
I thought co-host Dan was here for a second. Shit, that is a good news story.
Right?
It's a true Might Be News, Might Be Brews crossover event.
Right?
Wow.
So I thought it was awesome, and I want to give a shout out to Sierra Nevada, obviously, for getting this thing rolling, and everybody else that's gotten involved. I just think it's really neat. And once again, it goes to prove the community that comes with craft beer is just second to none.
And I did see in our local neck of the woods, La Cabra will be one of the breweries doing it. I just saw that this afternoon. I don't know if
Nice.
you saw that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. That's awesome.
And I really like La Cabra's stuff. Everything I've had from them's been really good, really solid.
I think I've only been to like one. I don't know. I've never been there, but I think I've had one or two beers from them, and they were at bottle shares. But I haven't actually been there myself. I almost did. The day we recorded last, when we had all that snow, my wife got stuck in Berwyn. Her car was right out front of La Cabra. The van was stuck there. So I went to go get her, and I was like, do I just go in and grab a beer to go or something?
I'll take you out of the snow in a couple. I got to go get
Yeah.
get a 4-pack.
That was just a crazy day in itself.
The food there is really good, and they actually had good kids menu. So you can bring the kids there. They had grilled cheese,
awesome.
and they had all kinds of stuff, crowns and stuff. So it was a
That's
good spot to bring the family.
That's a touchy subject. Kids and breweries.
Oh yeah, we could.
There's people
not
who
get into that.
aren't into that. So hey, I'm gonna crack this next beer here. I actually saw it at the beer store today and got excited because myself, I'm actually a big Half Acre fan.
Mhm.
Now early on, dripped a little bit on the cables. Taylor don't like that. So
Taylor mad.
when I was early into craft beer, I remember Half Acre wasn't in our area, and
Right.
a buddy and I heard that Daisy Cutter was at a Philly bar or something like that, and we were down in the area, so we went down and grabbed it, and I loved it so much that I got excited every time I saw something else, and I tried everything: the Pony Pills,
Black Feather, the dark IPA.
Yep, I tried all of it, and I liked every single one. So now I get really excited every time they release a new beer in the area. I always grab it. So anyway, this one is called Wand, I believe, WAND. It's a double IPA from Half Acre Brewing out of Chicago. And I'm going to crack this bitch open.
There you go.
I'm getting shit everywhere.
Wow.
It's splashing.
It's explosive. It's a cool can. I like the colors
The
of it.
can is awesome looking. I'm handing you my glass instead of the,
I was like,
the can.
I'm not sure what's happening here.
But
I like all the colors and stuff. Looks pretty cool.
smells pretty good. The I asked the guy at Exton Beverage. I said, "Hey, what do you know about this?" And he's like, "Hey, I like Half Acre too, but I know nothing about it. I actually looked it up on their website and couldn't find anything. So I haven't tried to look it up yet, but they really didn't have anything to tell me or hadn't heard much about it. It just showed up on their shelves.
It's a clear IPA. I haven't seen one of those in a little while.
It's been a while, right?
All right. Well, cheers again.
Yep. Cheers.
Coming around.
Birthday beer number 2.
All right, let's do it.
2. Might be.
Do you know why people cheers?
Why is that?
Why is that?
So drinking involves sight, looking at it, taste,
Mm-hmm.
smell, and texture by putting it in your mouth to involve the fifth sense. Cheers for sound.
Wow.
There it is. All 5 senses are now covered.
Interesting.
I like this.
That's some next level shit from Kev.
Kev, is that real?
Yes, 100%.
If you would have made that up on the spot, I'd have been super impressed because you really brought it.
It's literally like more work than you've ever done for our show.
Right?
Ever. It's the most insightful shit that you've ever said.
He's got hidden gems. We just don't know it.
In your life.
Just get him tanked every time he's on Might Be News.
Let me get another splash of that real quick.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
He wants to investigate further.
I really like this.
Yeah, this is really good.
It's definitely a fruitier IPA. Do you get fruit from it, Kev? Do you? No. You just what do you get? You get that hoppy, grassy notes, bitterness.
Yeah, I guess it could,
sweetness.
You could say it tastes like grass.
Bitter. Yeah, I guess a little grassy, but it's not bad. I could drink that. I could drink that.
See, I knew when I listened to that episode of Might Be News that you were on last year, where you brought the beers, and they were all weirdo beers. I knew. You introduce them the right way.
Yeah, you'll
bring them along. I don't know anybody that has been brought along slowly into craft beer that's not a craft beer fan.
No. That's
anybody that's tried it, and some people have tried it and tried something super strong and never gone back. But if you try enough of them, you're gonna find something that you like somewhere.
What'd you
that's
think,
good.
Taylor?
That's good.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I like the can better than the beer. I do.
I think you're going to be like me. IPAs were really one of the last frontiers that I got into.
Yeah, I think IPA is my least favorite. Just flavor. I mean, just overall flavor. It's my least favorite. That was
the way I started out. I was into the Belgians, the wheats, the lagers, and my buddy Dave said, drink IPAs for a week. And I went on vacation, and that's all I drank for a week was different IPAs. And I started to say, well, I kind of like that about that one, or I don't like that about that one. And by the end of that week, I was like, let's get some IPAs. Let's get it going.
But when I'm at the beach, I like to get hammered. Like, I like to get hammered, and I really don't know how I feel about getting hammered off of $25 beers. Like,
dude, you only have to have 2 of them, though. That's maybe one of them for you. And me, too, because I don't drink beer all like
2 of them is still $50. I can go get a fucking case of Miller Lite for 20.
This 4-pack was probably like somewhere around $17-18.
The 4-pack
for
those cans.
That's not bad. That's not
bad. You'll get wasted on
the $20 bottles are definitely not our normal.
No, it's it's like a special thing. Like this time of year, it's expected that we're gonna do around Thanksgiving. We're gonna grab some nice stouts. A lot of people release stouts. Did you get a hold of any Ralphius by chance?
I didn't, and I really like the Ralphius, but even better than Ralphius is I like the Ella better, which is the Belgian quad version that they do.
Oh,
that's a really good beer.
Dude.
And they did all the different variants of that, which were really limited, but I really like to try.
I do not have a lot of experience with Belgians, and I think you're going to have to help me out with that.
I got a 2016 Cuvée von Kaiserblau, that beer that I collect.
It was like, okay.
And I might have to bring that next time.
You have a beer that's been sitting around for 2 years?
No, I actually just bought it this week. And it was actually in the store like that. But in my cellar, I do have a cellar where I keep old beers. I have a beer from 2010.
That you bought in 2010?
That my neighbor bought in 2010. He gave it to me, and it was one of the beers that got me into craft beer.
And you like it?
And it's a fabulous beer.
So why is it still sitting there and not consumed yet?
So beers, like we were talking about, beers will change over a year, over 2 years.
Okay.
So I had this 2010. He bought a case. He gave me one. I threw it in the cellar. He said, we'll leave that for next year. Then the next year, we split a case of 2011. So I drank the 2011. I had a couple of them. I put another one in the cellar. 2012, I didn't get any. But then 13, I got some. I'll throw one in the cellar. I'll usually buy 2, drink 1, throw 1 in the cellar. So I have every year of this beer from 2010 to 2017.
Wow. Except for
2012, which I was just told tonight that my good friend Scott has hooked a brother up and got me a 2012. So for any of you listening that know I've been looking for that beer, Scott has mission accomplished. So I now will have 2010 all the way through 2017.
And you'll never drink them?
No, I'll definitely drink them at some point. We were just talking about this on the way over. I think once I get to 10 years, once I get 2010 through 2019,
He's gonna pour them all into a beer bong and do it.
We're just gonna bong it up. When's the last time I did a beer bong?
I don't know. We're gonna have to bring that back for Might Be Brews.
Probably since you got into craft beer.
Since you've been pouring $25 beers.
But that's, you know, what and that's a good question for the audience too. Get back at us if you have a lot of verticals of something. They call that a vertical. Most people, you can do a 3-year, you can do a 2-year vertical, trying them side by side to taste the difference of the different years.
When I extend my beer bong, I call that a vertical.
There you go. Get like the
Zingers.
Yo, really?
What are you
He
doing?
is on it. He is on it tonight.
I feel like the last time I did a beer bong, it was like senior week, and I think somebody had a 2-story one. I feel like I remember a deck being involved.
Oh,
with
no
this
way.
beer bong.
Wow.
I want to say the last time I did it was Frank Peary with a beer and a shot of rum or something like that. He just tossed in there and then threw it up there quick. Frank Pear.
I remember my my buddy Fish doing one at senior week, and I think he tried to do 3 Mickeys,
Ooh.
and they came up like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
And I just remember him screaming from the bathroom, "They're still cold! Oh, they're still cold!" Oh.
Yeah, I think the best I have for a vert right now, because I'm still kind of new to the game, I got a 16, 17, 18 Bourbon County. And I think I've got a 16, 17, 8. Well, I don't have a regular Java cask, but I think I've got a regular 16, a 17 rye, and then I've got this new 18 series. So, but you know, like I was talking about earlier, I thought the vanilla Bourbon County this year was real hot. I'm really looking forward to sitting on it.
I think it's going to age well.
It's going to age well. Absolutely. All right. Before we forget, let's rate this thing. Half Acre Wand, Double IPA. Steve, what did you think?
I think it's a solid double IPA. It harkens back. It's not the cloudy New England style, but I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Very good. Very good. You know, I think I'm right there with you. I'm going to give it a 4. I really like Half Acre beers. And this is a really good beer, but I don't know. I guess it's like there's just something missing that I feel like I usually get out of a Half Acre that gets me giddy and excited that I'm not getting with this one. I don't know what it is, but I like it. It's solid. It's a great IPA, double IPA, full flavor. I enjoy it, but nothing's blowing me away.
Let's get over to our novice here, Kev. What do you think about this guy?
I really enjoyed that beer. I'm not, as far as I knew, I was not an IPA drinker. I don't like really hoppy beer. It kind of really grosses me out. But that I didn't find to be too hoppy, and I could definitely drink it. I would give it a 3.
That's a big improvement from 0.5.
Yeah, it is. What do you think, Taylor?
I give it
A 0.5.
no. I'll give it a soft 2.
Soft too.
Soft too?
Yeah, soft 2. As soon as you said grassy, I was like, yeah, that's it. I felt like I mowed the grass with my teeth. Like it was just like gross to me. But at the same time, as we were saying, like I really don't like IPAs. I feel like that was kind of light. Like it wasn't like it didn't punch me in the face with that grassiness. It was semi-refreshing.
Yeah.
I'd never drink it again.
No, it's pretty good. So I want to talk about one of our local favorite breweries, Root Down. A couple things. One is I saw that they're opening. I don't really understand it exactly, but they're calling it the Root Down Garage Bar at the Epicurean Garage. Have you been to the Epicurean in
No.
Chester Springs?
I have not, and I saw this on here, and I have no idea what this is.
So they made a Facebook page, they announced it, and what I'm assuming is that they're kind of taking over the bar area maybe of this place where they're going to be serving maybe exclusively Root Down beers. I couldn't really find, I really searched, and I couldn't find a distinctive description of what was actually happening. But it seems like they're going to be pouring Root Down beers, which is nice for us because that's about half the distance.
It's definitely probably even more than that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much of a hike for me to make it up to Phoenixville regularly.
I work out of Phoenixville somewhat frequently. I was actually up there today and would have loved to go to Root Down, but they don't open till 4
Yeah.
So I really couldn't make it happen. But I did stop by recently to the bottle room and grabbed a crowler of Bine, which is the Great American Beer Fest gold medal winning American IPA. And, it had been a while since I drank it. One thing that was really neat is they gave me a sweet crowler koozie.
That was a cool looking koozie.
That was awesome. I really like that. But the beer itself is really, really good. I was actually surprised. I made a little note actually when I drank the beer. I was surprised that it seemed that everything had a strong flavor throughout the whole process. It was very strong bitterness up front. The malt came through strong. There was a lot of flavor that came through individually to me. And I just thought overall it was a really great beer.
I was talking to a friend of mine, John, who is actually studying to be a BCG beer judge.
Wow.
For the beer different competitions like the Great American Beer Festival.
Okay.
And we were talking about Bine specifically, and he said that beer just hits the marks for the descriptions of the beers. When you read through the style guidelines, that it hits those to a T, and that's the kind of thing that they're looking for in competitions.
That's interesting. Did he elaborate at all on what it takes, what kind of training you have to do?
I'm going to ask him about that because I'd be interested in it.
Yeah.
He went through he does a lot of homebrew, and he does a homebrew club, and a bunch of them went and did the certification. I want to say it was at least a couple $100 to go through the certification, but it's almost like a course. He had to go study. He talked about going to East Branch and trying different beers and writing down tasting notes and appearance notes, and
wow,
it's a little bit of work.
Yeah. Well, that'd be awesome. I'd like to look into that myself. I kind of feel like a novice here trying to review these things, but that's really interesting. That's really, really cool.
He's got a really cool setup in his basement. He's got a freezer converted into a kegerator. He's got it's enough for 4 tap handles, but he only has 3 in right now. So he's got 3 different beers on tap in his basement.
Wow.
He had a Belgian table beer. He had an Oktoberfest, which he was calling his Novemberfest because it was a little bit later. Nice. And he had a really good New England style lager.
Huh.
So it had that IPA, it had the cloudiness, but it also had the crispness of a lager on the back end. It was a really interesting beer.
Nice. That's awesome. And he homebrewed it all.
He homebrewed it all.
That's awesome. Well, another thing I saw last week, which was kind of a shocker to me, The Answer did their first can release. The Answer out of Richmond, Virginia. On November 24th, they did 400 cans of a beer called I Have Nipples, Greg.
I have nipples, Greg. Do you want to milk me?
Yep. That was a vanilla imperial milk stout.
There's somebody that hasn't seen that movie that's like, what just happened there? What are those guys talking about? The movie line.
Yeah. But I guess I was kind of surprised by that. That's why I added it to the list here. I'm always seeing The Answer being muled up here. It's around a lot from friends that are bringing it around, but I guess it never occurred to me that they don't actually do can releases. It's all crowlers that I've been seeing.
It's all crowlers, and I've really enjoyed their stouts. Any kind of stout that I've gotten from them is just excellent.
So this one, like I said, vanilla imperial milk stout. The notes they said are it's a thick, super silky, soft imperial stout with subtle vanilla and chocolate notes. $28 for a 4-pack.
In search of, if anybody's
yeah, right. Absolutely. But shout out to The Answer, man. Good stuff, guys. You guys doing your first can release. That's probably a real big deal to you in the brewing world. So very cool. The next thing I wanted to talk about was this. I put out a Facebook poll. So to give it a little bit of context, on Thanksgiving, I cracked open a bottle of CBS, and it wasn't the first beer of the night. I had had a stout earlier, and I did not finish the bottle. So we were wrapping up for dinner, getting ready to go home, and I corked the bottle. And come Saturday, I put a big pork shoulder on the smoker. And I'm starting to get some things ready, and I see that bottle in the fridge, and I crack it open, and I take a sip of it, and it's gone flat. It's lost a little bit of its characters. So I thought to myself, I'm going to try to cook something with it. and I put together I looked up some recipe ideas, and I threw together a barbecue sauce to go with the pork.
Which
Good.
year did you crack? 2018,
Yeah,
2017?
it was the latest one,
This
the 2018. So what I was curious of is how do people feel about that? I only used about a cup of it, but it was a good $25 bottle of beer that I used to cook. Now, I've talked to people about this before, and some people say there's no such thing as extra CBS. You know, there's no such thing. You drink that whole beer, or whatever it may be. So I put it out there. I said, listen, is that a violation? Do you need to drink it all? Is it only for drinking, or can you get creative with some fancy beers and cook? But what do you think, Steve?
My initial thoughts are, you paid for it, you do whatever the heck you want with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good use for beer, to try and get into different cooking applications, to get those flavors going throughout everything else. How was the barbecue sauce?
I thought it was fantastic. Did you have some of it?
I did, and I liked it a lot.
The recipe that I was working off of called for some soy sauce, and it ended up having like an unexpected Asian flair to it.
Okay.
It had some sriracha in it, some soy sauce, but CBS, and I was really impressed. My wife especially was just blown away, like how good she thought it was. That it was like this really like tangy, spicy, whatever you want to call it, sauce, but you could still get those bourbon notes in there a bit.
Yeah, I would think that would lend itself really well to a barbecue sauce. I've never made barbecue sauce myself, but it's something I would definitely look into trying.
Yeah, so I put it out there online. I said, "Hey, look, is it a violation? Is this beer for drinking only? Beers like this for drinking only, or is it cool to do what you want with it?" 87% of people said, "You do you, boo boo.
Wow.
Just do your thing. You paid for like you said, you paid for the beer. Just do it." And then
You
there's-
do you, boo boo.
Yep, and then 13% or so.
How many?
13%. I don't know how many that was exactly, but there was definitely a few people that let me see. There was 68 votes total. If you voted, I appreciate you. 9 people said that's for drinking only.
Oh, fuck them.
I do what I want.
Straight up. I mean, why not? If you like Steve said, if you bought it, do whatever you want with it.
As long as you drank some of it.
This is America.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have drank any of it and just threw it in some sauce, I might have said, you got to try it.
I actually shared 75% of that bottle with somebody fresh around Thanksgiving, got a lot of enjoyment out of it. And, that's what I felt was the best way to take care of what was left. Another thing here that I saw going back to Victory, I was really surprised to see this. They've got this event that happens, I guess, somewhat frequently called Taste Off Tuesdays. Have you seen this? Have you been to one?
I have seen it. I have not been to one. I think it's got to be something that we put on the agenda. And I think they actually do it on the same night they do a Quizzo.
Oh, yeah?
Which would be a fun time.
I think we should do it. So it's really interesting that they've got that they do flights of beers that they're testing, some of their newest beers, and it's $5 for the flight.
And that's a great price for a flight.
Absolutely.
What's a flight?
A flight's like a bunch of what's
Mini
it, 5 or
glass?
6
Oh,
ounce?
okay.
Yeah, mini glasses. Usually they bring you 4 or 5 of them at a time. Victory, I think, does 5.
I think it's 5 4-ounce pours.
Yeah.
So it's basically a 20-ounce beer, just 5 different flavors.
Drink it or sink it time.
I think we
It's
do
time to
drink it
drink
or
it.
sink it. Today, for Taylor, I brought a Dogfish Head Namaste White Belgian-style wit beer.
All right.
Now, you're a fan of this beer, right?
I do like this beer. I do like the spiciness to it.
You're good.
I think it's going to be a good gateway. Allagash White might be something that you might have had that would be something a little similar to this, that you could compare it to.
It's been a while since I've had it, but when I had it, I did not like it. I got it in a mixed pack, and it was just something that's been sitting in my fridge. I am not a fan.
So, Kev, if you're not familiar with what this segment is, this is them
I'm familiar.
Okay.
This is Convert Taylor.
All right, I've smelled it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it. I see the head. It's got a nice head to it. I'm going to taste it for the mouthfeel. I got to hear it. Cheers. Well, that's all I'm going to ever think about now whenever I cheer somebody is I got to listen to this beer. But I also listen to the can crack too, so there's that sound
Well, the
audio.
cheers isn't from beer. The cheers is actually from wine.
Okay.
That's
You
where the
should hear
cheers
the
originated
cork.
from. Oh God, you got me there.
Man, I just I'm not going to say anything. I want to hear what Taylor's got to say about it.
It's okay. I like the front end, like the initial crispness of it is good. I don't like the aftertaste.
That's a big one for me. The aftertaste on this kills, and there's a lot of spice to it.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of that pepper or coriander going on. That's just like,
See, that's the part I like the best.
kind
I
of tastes like
that.
fall. It kind of tastes like fall to me.
it's like spices.
Yeah, that's a sink it from me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Is it?
It's a sink it.
Oh, Kev.
I got no aftertaste. I just got orangey, citrusy deliciousness.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
like it?
good.
That's a drink it
It
from
was
you.
good.
Did you
Yeah,
drink it or sink it?
absolutely drink that.
Very good. So, you know something that we haven't really...
How about Steve?
Steve?
Well, I'm drinking
sorry.
it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
The drink it or sink it isn't really
No,
for
it's not
us.
for,
Yeah.
it's not for you guys. Yeah, no.
It's for the novices.
You really didn't like that?
No, I don't like it at all.
That's good.
I think there's Belgians, wit beers, whatever it is, there's something going on in them that
It's that yeast taste that you don't.
yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out ways to get you around that, but
Yeah,
gotta-
but I
gotta
think
put my
you
head to it a
understand
little
it.
bit.
But man, I'm just not a fan at all.
Yeah, I don't like the end of that. It's all right, but ugh.
at
But
least
yeah,
we got one drink it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So now that you had 3, so not just the drink it or sink it beer, but you've had 3 beers here tonight. What was your favorite out of the 3?
The first one, the Guinness.
The Guinness was your favorite?
Yeah,
Very interesting.
out of the 3.
Awesome.
Good job tonight, guys.
Thanks, man.
Great job.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody that's listening, thank you very much. Please like and share our post. Give us some comments, some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Give us some ideas for future episodes. We'd love to know what you're thinking. Steve, thank you so much. Appreciate everything.
Awesome. Great job. Thank you to
Great job.
co-host Kev for joining us.
Dude, I got introduced to 2 more beers that I'll actually go out and drink now.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, as
Yeah.
Meatloaf said.
And you were very productive.
He
He had zingers. He had stories.
If you come
Oh.
over here for Might Be News and suck ass like you usually do, I'm going to be frustrated with you.
I'm
Kev.
going to do it on purpose.
I think you should have a late review just to piss him the hell off.
You know, that's probably going to be my late review this week is your performance here tonight.
Oh, that's funny.
Tune in for that shit. But no, happy birthday, John.
Thanks,
Happy
man.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
guys.
birthday to
Thank
you.
you guys. Thank you everybody for listening. We will see you next time.
Thanks.